Hello and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News on this Monday, March 30th. I'm Grant Olson. Here's some of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. An accident involving a handgun wounded not one but three people on Saturday outside Dryden. In a capital ceremony today, Governor Bob Ferguson signed the millionaire's tax into law, creating a first-of-its-kind income tax for Washington state. Our weather will stay cooler than normal with a good chance for rain by Wednesday. Your full local weather forecast is coming up. A former custodian at Sterling Junior High in East Wenatchee will serve a 1 year in jail for sexually abusing a 15-year-old student. 52-year-old Michael Ray Van Heusen pleaded guilty last month to a single count of third-degree rape. East Wenatchee police arrested Van Heusen in 2022 on suspicion of sexually assaulting the teenager at the junior high building. He appeared by Zoom for sentencing with his attorney. Eastmont School Resource Officer Ivy Jurgensen read the victim's statement today in Douglas County Superior Court in Waterville before Van Heusen was sentenced by Judge Brian Huber.
The strength it takes just to wake up some days, to keep moving forward when my world has been shaken, to carry the pain that no one else can fully understand. It has also affected my ability to focus at work and spend time with my family the way I used to. I am a survivor of sexual assault, and I would have never thought I would be strong enough to say that out loud.
Van Heusen must report to jail this Friday. In addition to his confinement, Huber ordered him to register as a sex offender and have no contact with the victim or other youth or disabled adults. It's the maximum standard sentence under Washington law. An accident involving a handgun wounded not one but three people on Saturday outside Dryden. Chelan County Sheriff's deputies and aid crews from Fire District 6 were sent to a home off Highway 2 about 9:12 p.m. A male resident inspecting a newly purchased handgun pulled the trigger, believing it to be unloaded. Deputies say the resulting gunshot traveled through his hand, through the buttock of a bystander, and into the leg of a third person nearby. One of the responding deputies, Drew Davis, applied a tourniquet to the victim with the leg injury before they were taken for hospital care. Authorities say that may have saved the victim's life. Sheriff's Chief of Special Operations Ryan Moody says the incident is a lesson to always handle firearms with care and always treat them as if they were loaded. A Bridgeport woman who stabbed a convenience store clerk in the face last fall was convicted by a jury last week of second-degree assault. 23-year-old Monica Mercado attacked the female clerk at her workplace in San Marcos Market last November. The victim suffered wounds to her face and hand and was treated at Three Rivers Hospital in Brewster. Mercado fled the store and was arrested 3 days later by Douglas County Sheriff's deputies, who said the attack appeared to stem from a verbal dispute between the two women a few days earlier. Last week, the jury in Waterville convicted her of second-degree assault after a 2-day trial, but acquitted her on a more serious first-degree count. She was also convicted of malicious mischief for slashing the victim's car tires. Mercado has been held in the Chelan County Jail since her arrest. When she's sentenced on Thursday, she faces a possible prison term ranging from at least 3 to 9 months. A crowd of about 1,500 people gathered at Memorial Park in Wenatchee on Saturday for the third nationwide No Kings protest since President Donald Trump began his second term. Organizers say the goal of the protest was to call for accountability and the preservation of checks and balances in government. It's part of a greater national effort with more than 3,000 protests taking place across all 50 states. Attendees say they showed up to support immigrant communities and to send a message that their voices and concerns matter.
Can you share with us what the goals are of the protest today?
We want to make a shift in where our country is headed. And that it comes down to some things that this government is doing that are illegal. The courts have held that they were illegal, and we want to see that change. We are concerned about where we are headed in terms of deporting people without due process, attempting to end birthright citizenship, weaponizing the Department of Justice, and illegally seizing control of federal elections through burdensome processes such as the SAVE Act.
What does it mean to you to see so many people come out to protest alongside you?
It means there's a lot of people that share the values that I hold dear. I believe strongly in our constitutional republic. I believe that we are a nation of laws and that we need to follow them. And I believe that there are a fair number of people who need to be held accountable, and we need to have investigations, and there need to be charges filed for the events of the past year. And there's 1,500 people here and thousands more across central Washington who agree with that message.
Can you tell me about what made you decide to come out and protest today?
Well, I try to make it to as many protests as I can because, well, there's like so many reasons. First of all, I think the most urgent reason for me right now is I have a lot of Latino friends and a lot of people in the Hispanic community very close to me. And in Wenatchee specifically, like they literally are feeding us. And I think it's really important that we're acknowledging the contribution that they're bringing to us and that we're protecting our neighbors, protecting our family members, protecting our friends. And so that's probably my number one reason why I come out to the protests. Other reasons are like maybe just as simple human rights. Like I'm not really sure why that is so controversial right now. I think that simple things like keeping people safe, keeping people fed, keeping people educated. I work in healthcare, so I know very firsthand the disparities that happen just in general, but then especially in an economy and a political situation where human rights aren't being respected. And so it's really important to me that I don't have a lot to offer in the world, but I can use my voice, and so I use it whenever I can.
Perfect. What changes or outcomes would you like to see come from movements like these?
I would like ICE to be abolished, or at least like the border control is fine within a prescripted manner. What's happening right now is completely unacceptable. That's probably the number one thing. I would like to see due process, like wars without any congressional approval, without any budget, should not be happening. I would like health and human rights. When I say health and human rights, we spend more money per capita than any other country in the world on healthcare, and we have the absolute worst outcomes. And seeing that happen in this administration, where things like people's rights are getting taken away from them, people's medical coverage is getting taken away from them, that needs to stop, like right now. Just you need to come. It is very powerful to see how many people are here together. Like a lot of people know each other, and a lot of us are just strangers, and there's just such an amazing feeling of being together for the same purpose. Like we all want hope, we all want peace, we all want compassion, we all want our neighbors and our friends to be safe and happy and healthy. And just showing up for a couple hours, like it makes a huge difference.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Lisa. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
When we come back, the 2026 Rails and Ales Festival and Rail Jam competition helped usher out the winter on March 11th. One of the Methow Valley's 8 historic fire lookouts has fallen victim to wind and weather. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
This March, Lake Chelan welcomes food and wine lovers to an unforgettable experience. Taste Chelan. Chelan Valley's top wineries and restaurants create the perfect pairing of fine wines and culinary delights. With 4 weekends to explore, every visit offers something fresh and exciting. From your first sip to the last bite, every moment is a delicious adventure. But don't wait, tickets are selling fast. Visit tastechelan.com today.
News, weather, and sports. It's all here weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 on your local news source, the NCWLIFE channel.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
The 2026 Rails and Ales Festival and Rail Jam competition helped usher out the winter on March 11th. At the same time, Sustainable North Central Washington helped divert a sizable amount of recyclable and compostable goods out of the event's waste stream. The Ecology Nonprofits Director, Marlene Farrell, says with help from 38 volunteers, local Rotary clubs, and Winton Manufacturing Compost Works, Sustainable NCW set aside 600 pounds of organic material for composting. All that matter was trucked away from the downtown event to be turned into nutritious compost for yard and agricultural use. Another 250 pounds of recyclable material was also salvaged instead of going to a landfill. The event required vendors to offer compostable packaging, and receptacles were put in place for guests to recycle or compost their trash. Farrell says all told, the diversion prevents almost 2,200 pounds of CO2 from being pushed into the atmosphere in the form of landfill fumes. One of the Methow Valley's 8 historic fire lookouts has fallen victim to wind and weather. The Slate Peak Fire Lookout collapsed over the winter and its fate was discovered last week. The 40-foot tower sat at 7,300 feet elevation, making it the second highest fire watch station still standing in Washington. It was built in 1956 to stand guard for fire activity in the remote Pasayten Wilderness. The nonprofit Methow Valley Forest Fire Lookout Association, which works to preserve the lookouts in the Methow Valley Ranger District, says it's working with the Forest Service to document and salvage the site, hoping that remnants of the fallen lookout can be preserved. In a Capitol ceremony today, Governor Bob Ferguson signed the millionaire's tax into law, creating a first-of-its-kind income tax for Washington state. Starting in 2028, households will pay 9.9% on all income over $1 million annually. That money will be channeled toward K-12 education, health care, higher ed, and other services. The law is expected to bring in at least $3 billion a year while reducing certain sales and business taxes. Supporters praised the measure at the ceremony, but Ferguson acknowledged the new law is likely to face legal challenges.
Look, there's going to be a public conversation around this, right, in the days and weeks and months ahead, as there should be for something of this historic nature. And putting front and center those perspectives that you just heard, I think will be critical, because when Washingtonians hear the benefits that flow to working families, to businesses, large and small, to kids in schools with those free meals, for child care services for thousands of Washington families, it's going to make a huge, huge difference, and we're deeply appreciative of their speaking up.
Coming up next in tonight's feature story, we will learn the future of flock camera use in Wenatchee from Wenatchee Police Chief Edgar Reinfeld. Cool temperatures in the forecast with up to 8 inches of mountain snow for area passes on Wednesday. I'll have your local weather details coming up, along with Kate Calvin as he visits Mission Ridge to bring us a look at the 13th annual Bomber Bank Slalom. All that as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after these messages.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCWLIFE. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Flock automated license plate readers operated by the Wenatchee Police Department remain shut off as the agency awaits the governor's signature on a bill that would regulate their surveillance cameras. The department opted to turn off those cameras late last year after a ruling by a Skagit County judge determined images captured by the cameras were considered public record. Senate Bill 6002 originally proposed limiting agencies from retaining data collected by automated license plate readers for longer than 72 hours. After several amendments, the approved bill allows retention for 21 days, exempts the data from public disclosure, and is now on Governor Bob Ferguson's desk. In tonight's feature story, Police Chief Edgar Reinfeld sat down with NCWLIFE's Dan Kuntz to discuss the bill's passage and when he expects Wenatchee's cameras to be turned back on.
It's interesting, when it first came up as a Senate bill, the proposed bill was not workable for us. We just would have had them come back and take them down and worked our way out of our contract with them, which goes for one more year. Instead, great credit to WASPIC, the Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs, lobbyists, and our policy folks who work with the legislature, and to the Senate sponsor who came up with a bill that was really unworkable for us and instead made amendments and adjustments that made it possible that we can actually work with this. So as of today, this is one of those where I read the bill and think, what's it going to look like in RCW? It's a little bit hard to see, but the basic provisions that we've seen would make it viable for us to turn the cameras back on them and use the tool again.
The bill that's on the governor's desk, again, is yet to be signed, would change things unless it's an active criminal investigation or you get a warrant. After 21 days, the images are automatically gone.
Yes.
They're deleted. And it also has a little caveat regarding public records requests and these things as well, correct?
So the existing structure with Flock is 30 days is their default retention. This would change retention to 21 days. I can't remember which state it is. I feel like it's New Hampshire or Vermont. It's 3 minutes. So the usability is a very narrow window. 21 days is totally workable. We had hoped just to have the 30. I think Flock as a company is probably prepared to change the retention. It can't be that difficult from a software side. But yes, the huge part of it is removing the public disclosure request so that the images themselves are not available through the public disclosure process. The impetus for to turn our cameras off was a single public disclosure request that requested every image that had been captured by the system. And so 30 days worth was nominally 7.5 million images from 8 cameras. Do they need to be reviewed and redacted each image? If they do, that's a colossal amount of time. If they don't need to be reviewed and redacted, it's still the volume of data was so large, it took us 4 weeks to determine how to get it flowed through our IT connection. We have extremely solid internet connection provided by a local provider, and never a problem. This volume and duration to bring down this massive pile of what ends up being a single encrypted file takes a long time. So multiple attempts, any interruption would kill the download, and then we don't have it. And then we have to do something with it, and then we have to provide it to the requestor, because that's how a public disclosure law works. It's the way it is, but pretty much impossible to deal with. So the biggest factor for us, aside from a lot of other things that came up, including the UW study, was just that we cannot manage the public disclosure volume of the images. It's unmanageable. It's impossible to keep all that. There's so much to it that we just can't deal with, and therefore it's not financially viable to keep it.
Are they going back on? Are they back on?
They are not back on. My guess is, based on everything I see, that they will be coming back on, and hopefully very soon. But again, it requires a signature by the governor with, if there are partial vetoes, that would change it. Depending on how it's codified in RCW, it could look kind of interesting. We may need to make some small policy adjustments, but our cycle time from signed by the governor, reviewed by legal, to being back on should be just a few days. Once we get all the review steps, then we should be able to get it done quickly.
The chief's.
Time now to take a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. And how about Saturday? I told you Friday that Saturday was going to be really nice, 64 degrees. Not quite the same on Sunday. We got to about 55 degrees and even cooler today, even though as we look outside our weather window, it was clear out there with lots of sunshine. This is our McNeil Canyon tower shot, and you can see Lake Chelan in the background there with all that bright, beautiful blue sky out there. And as we look ahead a little bit to a couple of days, Mother Nature not done with winter yet. As we get into Wednesday and into Thursday morning, a lot of snow has the potential to fall in the Cascades, and we are talking Stevens Pass, 6 to 8 inches of snow. That Snoqualmie Pass about 4 to 6, and Blewett Pass 1 to 3 inches of snow. Don't need to tell you that means winter travel Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night, and into Thursday morning over all of our area passes. So we're not quite done with those winter storms yet. High temperature today, as I mentioned, not too warm out there, 50 unofficially. That's now 7 degrees below where we should be for this time of year. 57 our normal, 73 our record high, and that was set in 2003. 34 this morning, 37 our normal low temperature for this time of year. Our record low 28, and that was set in 1987. Sun came up this morning at 6:43 and will set tonight at 7:28. All right, getting you into your Tuesday forecast. Temperatures will warm up just a little bit tomorrow. We're talking mid-50s in the Columbia Basin, Ephrata and Moses Lake at 55, 53 in Quincy, 52 for Wenatchee, Eniat, and Chelan, and about 50 degrees tomorrow afternoon for both Leavenworth and in Cashmere. Tonight we can expect partly cloudy skies to mostly clear conditions out there. We are under a little ridge of high pressure in the Pacific Northwest. With those clear skies, chilly tonight with lows only in the low 30s, and that goes for a lot of the northern tier of the U.S. For Tuesday, mostly cloudy skies as our next weather maker approaches the Pacific Northwest. We'll see a few clouds out there on Tuesday. Seasonably cool, a little better than today with highs in the low 50s tomorrow afternoon. And then for your Wednesday, this is where things change. We'll see a strong southwesterly flow into Washington. That area of low pressure will produce widespread rain showers on Wednesday. Happy April 1st, by the way, on Wednesday. A 70% chance of rain and cooler. Upper 40s is all for our first day of April on Wednesday. And then for Thursday, morning rain showers. There you have it. We'll give away to partly cloudy skies in the afternoon. We will see breezy conditions on Thursday as that system pushes out of our area. Highs in the mid-50s for Thursday. And then Friday, this is where the beautiful weather begins. Sunny skies for Friday and warmer. High temperatures with 3 areas of high pressure in the west. Near 60 degrees Friday afternoon. And look at this Saturday. Sunny skies all over the western United States. Will warm up even a little bit more this weekend. Saturday's high as we kick off the Easter weekend, mid-60s. And then for Easter Sunday, just fantastic. Sunny skies throughout Washington state. Travel, no problem at all this weekend. We'll see seasonably warm conditions with highs on Easter Sunday. Can you believe it? Into the mid-60s. All right, your 7-day forecast now, and it's brought to you by Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee, where comfort, care, and community come together. The freezing mark tonight for our low temperature, and we'll warm up to about 52 tomorrow with mostly cloudy skies. Cloudy on Wednesday, a 70% chance of rain our first day of April, and look at that high temperature, only 48 degrees. We'll warm up to about 52 on Thursday with a chance for morning showers. It will be breezy on Thursday, and then the nice weather arrives Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sunny skies all 3 days, near 60 for Friday, mid-60s for both Saturday and for Easter Sunday. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Cade Calvin and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
NCWLIFE Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCW Life would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
Welcome back in, sports fans. Cade Calvin here. The 13th annual Bomber Bank Slalom is officially in the books, but it wasn't just about the competition, but the community and the growth of the sport. Around 250 snowboarders competed over a course of 2 days. The categories range from young riders aged 13 and under to the grandmasters of the sport 50 years and up. Megan Koski has been riding since 2000 and competed in a number of Bomber Bank slaloms. She says this year's courses and turnout were some of the best ever.
It's just fun. It's a good community event, and I've been riding long enough that I've loved to push the women's divisions, and part of riding in pro is I'm 39, and I've been riding in 30 to 39 and 20 to 29, and so it's been a lot of fun to just kind of push the women's divisions and also be part of the community. I love it.
Some of this year's highlights include Jane Knox and Lauren Davies being recognized as the fastest woman and man respectively. Another big moment was when the Master of Ceremonies, Eric Baker, was surprised with the ACE Award to recognize all of his hard work in the snowboarding community throughout the years.
Those guys, Joey McGuire was the first recipient, Terry Parker was the second, Brad Miller was the third, and I gave them the opportunity this year to pick the next person. I didn't know who it was until then, so it felt good to receive something like that.
And for a veteran of the sport like Koski, one of the best parts of the event has been seeing more women and girls get involved every year.
Starting really young and riding in a lot of comps where there weren't girls divisions, and even moving out to Wenatchee, and I'm pretty sure the first rails and ALs I rode in, there wasn't a girls division yet. So just seeing the sport grow and more girls, older, younger, come on the scene and have not just like 2 or 3 girls in a division, like 5, 6, 10, 15 girls in a division. It's just a phenomenal thing.
Baker says the ultimate goal of events like this is to inspire the next generation of young riders.
Be the flame, carry the torch. Those guys, Joey and Terry, inspired me. So we want to inspire those kids as well to keep building and creating things like this.
All right, let's check in on some Saturday night varsity action, starting with boys soccer. The Cashmere Bulldogs stay hot. They defeat the Chelan Mountain Goats 2-0. The Quincy Jackrabbits, they run into a buzzsaw against Hawkinson. The Hawks cruise 6-0. And Ephrata dominates College Place. They win it 6-1. To the baseball diamond now. Lots of doubleheader action on Saturday. Okanagan pounds Lake Roosevelt in 2 straight games, 13-0, followed by a 15-4 rout. The Chelan Mountain Goats sweep the Columbia Bruins 10-1 and 7-1. And the Cashmere Bulldogs cream the College Place Hawks 13-0, followed by a 14-1 dub. And in softball, high-scoring matchup here, lots of fireworks. The Brewster Bears split a doubleheader with the Danaska Tigers. Bears win the first game 21-18, followed by 15-14 Tigers victory. The Eastmont Wildcats, fresh off of that Friday sweep of Wenatchee in which they scored a combined 38 runs, they battled the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. No sweep this time. They fall in the first game 9-6, but they do get one back in the second game. 7-6 is your final in that one. That's a look at sports. Reporting from Wenatchee, Cade Calvin, NCW Life.
Finally tonight, Monday means the next edition of the Wenatchee World is on its way to your mailbox. Here's what to expect tomorrow from the Wenatchee Valley's local newspaper.
All right, in the next edition of the Wenatchee World, we have coverage of the No Kings protest Saturday in Wenatchee, a profile of Kathy Campbell, the 2026 Apple Blossom Director General, and there was an accidental shooting on Saturday in Dryden that accidentally wounded 3 people. Read all that more on WenatcheeWorld.com.
And that will do it for this Monday edition of the NCW Life Evening News. Remember, if you see news happening, let us know. Email your news tips to news@ncwlife.com or just give us a call at 888-6295. Our channel is also available on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us and have a great night.
At Colonial Vista Senior Living, we believe life is meant to be lived fully. Our wellness programs inspire residents to stay strong, flexible, and confident every day. Here, curiosity is encouraged, friendships are nurtured, and every activity is an opportunity to connect, create, and enjoy life together. We invite you to experience the lifestyle at Colonial Vista Senior Living for yourself and discover why so many call our community home.